Hello and welcome to Gurustalam, an online learning center. My name is Uttam Pal and I am going to teach you CCNA routing and switching. So let's start with the chapter number 1. What is networking? In this lesson, we will take a look at what networking is about, what kind of devices you will work with, and the kind of work that is involved. This lesson is for absolute beginners that have no idea what networking is about. First of all, we should know what is network. When two or more electronic devices such as laptops, desktops, printers, routers, switches, etc., are geographically connected each other via any medium such as cables or wireless, defined as or known as a network. What is the networking? When we need transporting and exchanging data between electronic devices with use of hardwares, protocols, and softwares, or we can say the total process of creating and using computers in the network known as networking. So please do not confuse between network and networking. All right. Now, what are the uses of network? Networks are used for a number of reasons. One way or another, it's usually about sharing. What kind of sharing is there? Information. When we use networks for applications like emails or to reach certain websites. In file sharing, we need a network so that users can reach a shared network drive with documents, pictures, or might be other files. In resource sharing, we can connect a printer to the network that is used by multiple users, where no need to connect a printer directly to each other. They can take printouts from their own laptops or computers or desktop without having separate printers. Sharing, uh, we might have users that require access to the same applications. For example, in banking sector or finance department, we have multiple users and they need access to the same bookkeeping software or might be the other software they are the bank or financial department may using. So this kind of sharing is known as application sharing. So in very short, we can say a network can be as small as two computers. There are that are directly connected to each other or as large as the internet with millions of devices connected each other and sharing informations, file, resources and applications around the globe. Now, when we build a network, we use hardwares. What kind of hardwares we use? Let's, let's talk about on the on those hardwares. To build a network, there are some devices that we need. Uh, that devices can be your laptops, desktops, servers, switches, routers, etc., etc. So come, let's know about one by one. First of all, what are the host devices? Host devices are the devices that are used by end users. For example, laptops, desktops, smartphones, and tablets. These hardwares are known as host devices. Servers. Servers are similar to computers but have different role in network. For example, when you check your email, your client is connecting to an email server to fetch your email. This email server might be used by thousands of users, so it has to be available 24/7. Servers uses similar hardwares as what you will find in computers, but depending on their tasks are more reliable. They have more RAM with error correction, use hard disks that were designed to be always on, have more storage spaces, and so on. Another device we use known as network interface card. This device is known as network interface card, where we use this device to connect our computers and servers to a network. There has to be some interface. We use network interface card for this. In laptops, tablets, and smartphones, you will find wireless NICs with radio antennas. Another hardware is known as communication links. There are different types of communication links and cables, and might be on your local network. You probably have seen UTB cables before. And for internet connectivity, you might use DSL, which uses the phone line from your telecom service provider, or perhaps you have cable internet access with the uses of coax cable, just like your TV cable connections. And for long distance links, a lot of fiber cable used. Nowadays, we also use a lot of wireless technologies where we use radio antennas and radio waves for communication. In terms of wireless routers, smartphones, and external modems, etc. etc. Switches. Now, come to the switches are the most important hardware in the terms of network. On local networks, we typically use switches to connect computers and servers to the network, allowing them, allowing them to communicate with each other. These switches can be small as you see here, something you might find at home or at a small company network. In large enterprises networks, you might find big switches that offer hundreds of communications for computers and servers. These pictures are for the routers. So we also need to know about the routers. Routers are used for a number of reasons. The main reason is that they figure out what path to use to get a certain destination. For example, you might live in New Delhi, but the email server you use to check your email is located in Chennai. Just like there are many different routes to take if you want to drive from New Delhi to Chennai. There are many different networks path to take in order to send a network traffic from A to B. By exchanging information about networks between different routers, we are able to calculate a path to get to each destination. Routers can be as small as something we use at home or at a small business, or as big as the routers that are used by internet providers like Reliance Infocom, AT&T, Bharti Airtel, Vodafone, that handles a lot of traffic. Another most important hardware is firewall. In a perfect world, we could trust everyone and we don't have to worry about security. But unfortunately, beside all the great things the internet offers us, there are also a lot of malicious stuff. Think of viruses, malware, and hackers. They are staying around ourselves. Firewalls are used to inspect network traffic and drop malicious traffic. We also use them to encrypt network traffic so that remote workers can access applications on the company network in a very secure way. All right. Now came to the part of network protocols. What kind of network protocols we used? There are many different vendors that sells networking hardware. Uh, for example, Cisco, Juniper, HP, Dell, Microchip, and many others. Somehow, we can build networks using equipments from different vendors without any issues. This is because networking is mostly based on standards. Even though the hardware is different, we use the same networking protocols pretty much everywhere. While we are using any brand or any Windows networking devices, you might have heard of Internet Protocol packets like IP packets before. IP is basically standard. It doesn't matter if you use a Windows or a Mac computer. They both use IP. The same thing applies to the network devices like routers and firewalls. Now, let's talk about networking tracks. What are the other tracks available with the Cisco? There are a number of different tracks available with the Cisco. Those are routing and switching, voice, security, data center, wireless, service provider, and many more. In routing and switching, everything I described above so far falls under routing and switching. This is about connectivity, connecting devices like computers or servers together using routers and switches, getting network traffic from A to B. In voice, originally computer networks were built only for data traffic and we used phone cables for telephony. Nowadays, we also use the same data network for telephony with voice over IP. For example, we use the network of Geo. We use IP phones that are connected to the network and a digital telephony system with calling rules. We also have to make sure that voice traffic get preferences on the network or you end up with the poor audio quality. In wireless track, most network only had desktop computers long ago with wired connections. Nowadays, a lot of users enter the office with a laptop, smartphone, and tablet. Expecting connectivity for all these devices, wireless networking means you have to understand how data is transmitted and received using radio waves and how to build a network that support dozens of wireless users using hardwares like access points, and wireless controllers. In data center is a facility that houses of thousands of servers. There's air conditioning, it's dust free, fire suspension, and everything else to ensure these servers stay up running 24/7. These servers might be used by millions of users all over the globe at the same time. The networking equipments that is used to connect all these servers has different requirements compared to your average office network. Now, come to the security track. These days, security is most, we can say, the hottest topic in the IT industry. And network security covers a lot of different topics as well as here are some of things we have to deal with, like monitor network traffic, making sure no malicious attackers are able to enter our network, block malicious traffic using network devices like a firewall, encrypt traffic between different networks using VPNs, authenticate users before they get access to the network, create security policies and ensure they are enforced. Right? So these are the some networking networking tracks. And now we talk about the jobs in network industry or IT industry. After completing the CCNA, routing switching, what kind of jobs we get in the market or what kind of jobs available in the market. So far I described some of the components of networking. What kind of jobs are there? They are like network engineer. What is a network engineer is all about? Network engineer is the person that is building and configuring the actual network. For example, in a small net office network, the routing and switching network engineer configures the switches and routers so that users are able to access the internet and some servers. If you work at an ISP internet service provider, you will be configuring routers and ensures that the customers have access to the internet. Wireless network engineers do site surveys to see what kind of wireless performance they can expect, and if there is any interface, they configure wireless access points so that users get access to the network. To be able to configure these network devices, you have to understand the different networking protocols and learn how to configure them. This is the whole job of network engineer. Now, what is the job role of network sales engineer? A sales network sales engineer requires both technical and sales skills as well as you have to identify customer need the requirements and be able to translate these into a solution with different networking products. In the job role of system management, networking is mostly about the network traffic itself, using networking equipments like routers and switches to get traffic from A to B, preventing malicious traffic with the firewalls or encrypting the traffic comes under the system management. Apart from the system management, network administrator, there are lots of jobs roles according to your certification level or according to your experiences. So hopefully in this lesson has given you an overview of what networking is about, the devices we use to build networks, the different networking tracks out there, what a network engineer or network sales engineer does for a living. So that's all for the today. For the more information, please visit www.gurustalam.com. Thank you.